Peace and blessings. I am ChiVital, aka King Chi, and I am back with another tool for your toolkits and how to create your lives. Tonight, family, we are going to be discussing and breaking down one of the most important tools in order for you to survive this new earth in the fifth dimension. So as you tune in, don't forget to like and subscribe if it's your first time and you find this information useful to you, and drop some hearts in the chat. Grab your notebook, grab some water or something to sip on, and let's get started. All right. Peace and love. Welcome back, Black Venusian. Peace and love. Welcome back, Jonah. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you all have been noticing lately, there sometimes is a bit of a lag, but if you just hold tight, it will even out, it will buffer, and the replay is always available, and there should be no issue. You know what I mean? And any questions, for those of you who are new to how this goes, any questions that you may have, not only should you drop your questions here in the chat, but you may want to come back and put your questions in the comment section, as it is my practice to come back, look at your questions, and address anything that you may want to share or gather more information for. It helps to build a community. All right. So welcome back, Starseed 999. Welcome back, Third. Welcome back, Madame Shesheta. I know it's not a Spanish name, but like that's how it comes out for me. I hope you don't mind. So press 1 in the chat when you are ready with your notebooks, and let's get to breaking this thing down. The title of this video is Principles of Life Force Energy, and we're going to touch on what practice gives us access not only to the secrets of ourselves and the limitlessness of our minds, but also helps to build our ability to survive and operate with great awareness in the fifth dimension, which is our new earth. Family, if you're new here, there's also a Facebook group called the House of Chi. And we have, well, I just mentioned for the first time the fact that we are experiencing a new sun and some of its characteristics. One being it is extremely powerful and very responsive to our interactions. Okay. The information that I'm going to share with you is directly pulled from the outer realms, and I promise you, you will not be able to find this information on the internet. The closest thing to it is if you go and really find an authentic an authentic traditional guru somewhere tucked away, or be able to live amongst the people who are not visible to society now because they're definitely fully aware and living in the fifth dimension. This information is not just available here. So I want you to treat it with utmost care, honor, and respect, and take it into your meditations so that you can see for yourself how real it is. Okay. I know that here we discuss a lot of ways to apply the wisdom through the practices that you are on for your spiritual development. Tonight, I needed to share some of the breakdown. So let's get started. Okay. What I know to be true is that many, amen, and women go down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out what exactly is this life about in its existence. And what I realized for us is that the only time we taste the truth of who we are, what we are, is when we get to a state of oneness. All right, write this in your notebooks. Anytime we really actually touch a bit of the truth of who and what we are, is when we experience the oneness. Hidden right before us in the word pranayama are so many secrets to what we do on a daily basis and how we're able to manifest ourselves into higher dimensions of reality. Pranayama, known as the science of breath or the practice of controlling one's breath, has two very strong components in it. For now, that's all I'm going to touch on, are the two. Okay? Because here in the third dimension, we definitely get limited by or constrained with the duality and even the principle of the three. And where we are now in our existence is beyond that, into a realm of no time, no space, being. Okay? No gravity. Time, space, gravity brings us into the third dimension. We get into the fourth dimension, and then we have all of them at the same time. So we are getting away from the linearity of the past, present, future. And some of us have been able to witness some of those aspects of reality. And then the fifth dimension moves us into the limitless. All right. So, what is so peculiar about the word pranayama? What I find to be a beautiful discovery and revelation is that once again, we witness the two opposing forces that give us this cycle of being. Prana, defined as, you can look this up, I made a list, right? But life force energy, vital force, chi, breath, what else? The vital principle, okay? Anything that is a vital principle or life force, it also gives to the principle of growth and expansion. Now, while the word yama, when defined by itself, can be connected to restrictions, okay, or restraints, there is another piece that should be explored for your greater understanding. And that brings me to Lord Yama, death, Lord of death, Lord that presides over the underworld. Why? Why would, in the same Sanskrit word, the name Yama be placed next to prana and also be given to a principle, because these deities represent principles, right? Faculties. of our existence, death. Why is one a life-giving source and force placed next to one that presides over death? Okay? Why don't you see that? Why don't you see that you are in a practice of life and death in one? But when you break down the words, you will see that there's also a philosophy, a yogic philosophy, where there are niyamas and yamas. And focusing on the sound frequency, and I'll explain the importance of that. Focusing on the sound frequency of yama being the don'ts, what you don't do. Okay? What you don't do, what you restrict yourself from doing, what you curb yourself from doing, what you rein in, what you pull in. Okay? So let's continue to focus here. You have prana, life force, the vital force, chi, energy, growth, the force of growth. Okay? And we have yama, restraint, restriction, to hold back. Okay? In the description or the definition of yama, they define the word in such a way where they also use rein. Like, you're on a horse and you rein the horse in. And we know that that is the part where we have to find a space where we are controlling or pulling in things that we don't want to proliferate. So it's the opposing force. In breathing, because pranayama being this practice of controlling the breath with intention also reveals to us two opposing forces. As we breathe in the inhalation, we are withdrawing our essence, our own essence, right? We are pulling in. This is the contraction. As we exhale, we are expanding. Through this practice, there is something that you're able to do with time, with perfection, and that is also called extraction. Write these down. The inhalation is the contraction. The exhalation is the expansion. And through this withdrawing, this pulling in, we're able to access and see parts of our subconscious mind that are stuck in a third dimension of past, present, future that will need to be extracted in order for you to be able to expand and materialize stronger into your astral body, which will be your light body, your non-physical body that you're going to exist in more and more in the new earth, in the fifth dimension. The byproduct of the pranayama practice is to pull up the subtle energies attached to memories, okay, that need to be purified. All of us have had this experience where our memories bring us back to a moment in time where we either regret something, we were traumatized by something, even aspects of great joy. So we experience it in our memory that we're so attached to that we want to somehow recreate that thing that has already gone, as opposed to living in the now space without trying to um, build. Is like without trying to build something in the fifth dimension that was created in the third. They don't go with each other. If in the fifth dimension you have access to omnipresence and you're no longer bound by time, space, or gravity, the home structure that you have a great attachment to from the third dimension would only create a box that continues to change simultaneously in the fifth dimension. Because the mere thought, it goes from thought to manifestation in the fifth dimension. There is no longer that linear space in between where, oh, I have a thought, then I have to take an action, then I have to go buy the materials, and then I have to hire a builder, then I need to stack the bricks on top of each other. In the fifth dimension, now we are back to sound vibrations, sound frequencies that are a thing, as opposed to defining what a thing is by what we see it is. It is like knowing how to make the frequency sound of rain without saying rain, and then it is. Press 1 in the chat, and let me get some ashes in the chat if you understand these two different realities. So why I said this is one of the most important practices is that if we don't, as a people, do this, we will indeed be locked into this space and have such a weak presence in the new earth, if we even can get into it, that this is as far as the experience of the human consciousness that you will be able to experience. Whereas all those who have been doing the work, tapping in and doing the real life Minecraft, right? They call it Minecraft. Mindcraft. Another thing. within the fabric of what we see and what is being pushed on the consciousness here is a mixture of falsities and realities. So Minecraft, I'm gonna use that as an example. Minecraft, we have in some ways we're like, okay, it's a game, boop, 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 things are here, do, do, do. I'm building and I'm operating as this non-physical creature. And, you know, I'm building a house. And when I jump into the game, I exist. Same with the other virtual realities. I can create my avatars, right? Another word. The reality of the avatar is the expression of the self that lives in the oneness, that has integrated the duality and does not require the past, present, future to exist. It's non-linear, it's non-physical, and it is beyond the judgments that are built here into the third dimension. If you choose to float or fly to each of your destinations, that's only a matter of thinking it into reality. But parts of that being given here and polluted with things like Grand Theft Auto, where it is a virtual reality, but the principles of it are tied into the third dimension, which can block up your mind, your psyche into being entertained by third dimension living, going after things from a sense of scarcity. Okay? There's truth and lies mixed in together, and your job is to be able to decipher what's true in the fifth dimension, where you want to be building the strength and awareness of your astral self. Because those who cannot discern between all of those, they get locked in. And it is what it is. Another realization, let me get some ashe in the chat. Let me get some ashe in the chat, because I'm taking y'all deeper into this concept and program of pranayama so that you can draw further conclusions and receive some of the confirmations of why in the hell would both myself and Tehran be teaching, well, probably you want to know more so why but still, right? Why would we be teaching you or giving you practices to give you access to hell, to an opportunity to talking to the divine feminine principle of what presides over death? And the lessons of pranayama coming about here again are your key, your food, your protein shake, in order to not only continuously face the principle of death, but also face time which is also related to death, and become comfortable with moving yourself out of this physical realm and furthermore into your light body, the enlightened state of perfect concentration, which is samadhi. So for all these years, the occultists are like, samadhi is the thing, man. Like the Western occultists, like, yo, that samadhi thing that they talking about over in the East, that is the thing, man. That is the thing. That is the secret. This is the breath. This is the contracting and expanding force right here, right? That's the breath. And we see that through these Eastern principles that is the secret. That is the portal. That is the key. That's what takes us into more of the truth. So peep this, right? Lord Yama, also known as Kala. Write these words down. Kala also is defined as time. Time. So are you following? Yama, restraint, restriction, reining in, the don'ts, the checking, is also related to time. We are ruled by time in this dimension. Yes or no? In this third dimension, we are ruled by time. We measure our experiences by when they happen in time and space. Okay? Yama, Kala. Okay? Tahuti said, time is money and money is time. Money here in this third dimension, the old earth, is gravity. It is materialized currency. Time, space, gravity, third dimension. Okay? As you see, we are now moving into living more actively in the fifth dimension, where literally someone's value, someone's financial wealth can change without agreeing to the laws of third dimension time, space, and gravity, aka cryptocurrency, aka foreign exchange of some numbers on a screen, not backed by anything in physical reality. Which should be encouraging for you all who are practicing these occult programs, formulas, meditations, because you will realize that you can absolutely shift your existence here in relationship to monetary wealth more quickly by establishing it within the astral realm. Press Ashe in the chat. Some of y'all have stores online or storefronts. Some of you all have services that you sell, and you can go into deep meditation and get closer to that perfected concentration, visualizing to the point of lucid dreaming, astral projecting into a space where you see the culmination of your wealth. You see the palaces that exist. And when you come back to this physical reality, see remnants of it as increases in your paychecks, increases in your clientele, increases in your opportunities, changes in contracts that work to your benefit. You see it, you experience it. This is a real thing. And all those who go, yeah, that's a bunch of hocus pocus, whatever, they'll be stuck here. And they will go through the regular degular death cycle because everyone goes to see death. Okay? As we're going through the death principle, the divine feminine, the womb of the earth. Okay? As we're coming out on the other side, we got to go through the divine feminine, the womb, from the unknown, the deep darkness onto the earth. So what's it going to be? You trying to pop back out here in the third dimension? Or you trying to pop back out into the fifth dimension and be able to come and go to any dimension that may still be in play to show up as gods, right? Because for those of you who have been able to experience some of even the fourth dimensional healing, and for those of you who don't know what an example of that looks like, I'll share. But through the fourth dimensional healing, to a third dimensional being, they're like, you must be a god. You're some kind of alien, because that is wow. Because in fourth dimensional healing, you're able to witness the dissipation of some kind of dis-ease or overgrowth right in front of your eyes here in the third dimension, without a third dimension insertion or incision. So when we see healings like that have been recorded, where someone has a tumor, and through energy alone, right, the tumor is witnessed being shrunken. Some of you all have experienced having cancers removed. Okay? Pains within the body removed. Disease or injury of the nerves removed. Without a scalpel and without a pill. In a quicker time period than the whole time you're trying to treat it in a third dimensional world. But you're able to witness it. And some time, you got to see some time, but it's lapsed. Okay? And now we're moving to such a space that time gets totally eliminated, and one can experience the healing by tuning into the frequency of wholeness, knowing what is the frequency that needs to be sounded for equalizing the sounds of our light body. All right. So we play this game of life. And a term that I found funny is it's colloquial, I think, right? A saying, a cliche saying. Life is chess, not checkers. And I want to say that life definitely is chess, not checkers, but an enlightened life is chess, not checkers. Because there's only one moment where you totally can let go. And that is when it's checkmate. At checkmate, you finally surrender and you're able to review and look at how you got there. And you're no longer worried about what's the next move because the game is over. And I like the word checkmate because yama is a checking of oneself. It is self-control. Now, why do some people fight against the practice of pranayama? Why do some people fear pranayama? Well, remember that the more deeper you go into this meditative breathing practice, is the deeper you are going to pull out the things that give you a sense of life lived here. So whether it's painful or it's pleasant, the fact that it is a memory that you're attached to, that you respond to, that you are emotional about, it is going to be sitting there making you feel more alive. And to let it go tastes like death. So as you're sitting there, you're meditating and you're watching the clock. Okay? You're watching the clock. You're interfacing with time. You are counting your breaths and experiencing yama, the restriction, the restraint. And you're creating a vacuum by pulling in and then exhaling, which is going to pull out and extract that troublesome wisdom tooth of memories. And some of you will actually get so good at the practice that you will be pulling out memories that reside down into your bone marrow, awakening aspects and blueprints within your stem cells that now change the history of the DNA that you have been up until that point into something totally different. And for some of you who have faced even trying to, where's my home? Do I belong here? I don't know if I belong. I feel so different. A great sense of beingness is our connection to family and our family line, our bloodline, our So to remove those pieces that have identified us with a particular family can also be very disorienting. Because then, if you don't belong to a physical family that you know any longer, what kind of family will you belong to when you have reached this perfect concentration? Guess. You will then, yes, belong to a family of light bodies, close soul families, the light bodies, the bodies of light that share the same frequency as you. And you will begin to see and visit them more and more in the astral and become familiar with them. At times, for those who have been well practiced in these esoteric practices, right? They still are walking on this earth. But when you see them, you feel deeply in the pit of your heart, you know them. The same is true when you come face to face with strangers and you're like, I know you. I know you. And so it's just a remembering, right? Last secret that I'm going to share that is right there in front of you. But again, another word for Yama is twin. Because, there's two more things. You're lucky, you guys. Yama also means twin. So why do we continue to get these definitions or characteristics of this death being, this underworld being, this justice being, this one that you must pass through and be judged, right? With this twin energy. You tell me. Sounds very much like the story that, all the stories that we continue to see. Okay? Now, lastly, I thought it was more of a humorous note, was that the parents of Yama, since most people coming across a video that is about death will think, oh, it's so dark. Okay, it's so dark. And people who are locked into darkness are just as locked into the third dimension as those who are just about lightness. They're both stuck. Okay? They're both not going to go very far into the new earth. Because the new earth is all about an integration and a limitlessness. Okay? But the parents, at least in the Hindu text, right? The parents of Lord Yama are, lo and behold, the sun, the sun, and the clouds. And I don't know about you, but there has been a lot of clouds in the sky less sun, but the sun is there. But the two of them coming together in such a condensed fashion would lead me to believe that the timing of working the pranayama couldn't be more perfect because we are being given the support of the cosmos to do so. Ashe? So I look forward to more of your feedback in relationship to these practices, especially because I know firsthand that the Hasta Mudra that you were given, the both of them, that going out there into the astros has become way more easier. And I find it to be something that is more exciting because it gives you a real preview of where life is evolving. Yeah? I'm looking at the questions in the chat. Evergreen said reconnect by reconnecting to the original source. Yeah, definitely reconnecting to the original source and the source without distortion. Because we do know as a family, right? Occult College, Astro University, we do know as a family that there has been some distortion. There's been some surgery done to us human beings. But if surgery was done to the human being, that means there must have been a human being without the surgery that existed that had a different source. Therefore, it's not so simple. But this leads us back to source. We absolutely have the ability to create and destroy ourselves. Right? And how we exist and what we create, that's determined by how closely we are living to the true source within us and navigating our way through the distortion that was given to us, such as worshiping outside of our true knowing, living in fear, being out of true harmony with the universe, out of balance to such a way that we are so violent, but the violence is pushed by and promoted by fear. That's the distortion. All right. It's been a pleasure, you all. Thanks for being here with me. I have a very powerful love elixir. Fresh, fresh, fresh. Fresh, fresh, fresh. Very limited supply, y'all. It's very potent. Available. If you want to up your attraction and you want to do some love work with your beloved, hit me up at 202 810 1876 and say you want the pink elixir. And I got you. First come, first serve. And that you will have in your hands this week. Okay? Make sure you hit me up at 202 810 1876 This pink elixir is a limited supply for first come, first serve. Show your ashe and your appreciation for this information by either buying me some coffee or some tea in my Cash App, ChiVital, $ChiVital, or purchase the pink elixir and make a donation. It's up to you. But I look forward to connecting with you again, and do well to stick to your pranayama. Peace, love, and bliss. I will catch up with y'all. I'm out.